Hello everybody, it's John from the Kaiser Report. We're here today at Lazy J Farms. We're in front of the butcher shop, but we're going to take you introduce you to the owner. Butch Jarvis is here with me today, and we're at the front of the store. We'll be going in a few seconds. So I'd like you to meet Mr. Jarvis.
How y'all doing today? Glad to have you with us today here at the Lazy J Farms Butcher Shop, located just outside of the edge of Kingsport here in Bloomingdale and Highway 93. See your number and everything here. We like good fresh meat and hogs. We've got a farm down in Fall Branch that we raise our cattle and our hogs at and bring them up here and prepare them just for you. Alright, y'all, just come on in here to the Lazy J Farms. We're glad to have you here today. Let's see what we got inside. Now we're kind of small as far as showroom space and everything, but we keep fresh chickens out here for you every day. We have some awesome hot dog products. We have an all beef hot dog with no filler. We have a pork and beef hot dog. It's just awesome. The bacon, country ham, cheese made from real milk. None of the oils and stuff that you get in a lot of stores. Cage-free eggs. Come over here. We have a little freezer area where we keep. We also keep the chicken. We keep a lot of our products that are pre-boxed and ready for you just to go ahead and pick up. You can go online at any time and find this. We have hamburger patties in 20-pack boxes. We also pack them. We'll see in the back in a minute. In smaller packages for. We have bacon. We got the middle where you can make your own bacon if you want to, just the whole belly pieces that we cut off the hogs. And we also have to carry a natural pet meat. It's all meat. It's got beef trimmings, beef fat, heart, liver, and kidney in it, just a little bit of chicken in it, where we split our chicken breast and stuff. We also carry some other products here. This is all farm-to-table products that we carry. We've got some preserves, some pickles, some marinades and barbecue sauces and stuff to go with the other items that we carry.
Butch, let me ask you a quick question on these boxed items that you have here. Are you able to ship these to out-of-state residents?
We have a website. You can go to our Lazy J Beef website, and we ship anywhere in the United States. If you're within our 2-day window, our cost for shipping is very reasonable. If you're outside of our 2-day window, it's a little more expensive, but we have people order every day going to California, Nevada, Utah, Texas, and we're more than happy to ship it to you. It does cost a little bit more because we have to air freight it because we want our product to get to you in 2 days or less. You come around here, you see we got a small showcase here with all your favorite items in there. Pork down here at the bottom, you got your roast, your steaks, all different select steaks. Your spare ribs and short ribs and stuff. So, and here we got some rib eyes, some New York strips. We keep a lot more back here in the back. We keep our hamburger and our sausage and stuff all back in the back. As you see, we still have the old-fashioned butcher paper. So if you come in here and you want something special cut and you're going to eat it that day, we'll cut it for you and just wrap it right on up just like the old farmer would in the past and put butcher paper, send it home to you so you can put it on your grill. Come on back and we'll just take a quick look at everything inside. It's kind of basic, nothing real fancy here. We're kind of like in the old stage. This is already tore down for cleanup today, but it's a tenderizing machine where we make our cube steak. So if you like good old country fried steak or something, this is where the finished product ends up at. Patty machine where we make all our patties and stuff. So you make nice quarter-pound patties. It starts out, before it gets to the patty machine here in the grinder, we grind about 150 pounds of meat at a time, and we go through a lot of hamburger here in town. And of course, everything to start with, we have coolers and freezers in the back, and our meat's hung back there, and we just bring it out. It needs to go on the saw to be cut up, and it comes to the table, and we separate the items here, bone it out for the hamburger and everything. And just for future reference, we're planning on doing a few little extra episodes down the road, and we'll bring pieces out and we'll cut them up for you and talk you through the complete process of cutting them up. After everything's cut here and ground, ready to go, they go on the trays, and then it goes over to this area over here where it's our packing room area. We pack everything fresh. And what we do when we cut everything fresh, we turn around and we take it straight to the packing area, and everything is packed in vacuum bags. So when you go to the grocery store and stuff, you don't get the vacuum bags. They put it in just regular wrap. So in order to do that, in order to keep it fresh, they have to use a lot of different items most of the time to keep it fresh for a longer time. We don't add nothing to our products. We take it directly from the fresh steak, like the hamburger's just been ground. We put it out, weigh it out in packs, and we put it straight in the vacuum pack. And then it goes over to the packing machine where she's at over there now, getting ready to pack some. And at the packing machine, it's all the air is pulled out of it, make it seal tight, pull the oxygen out, and then it'll go over to the scales, be weighed and priced out for your convenience.
Some beautiful beef.
Yes, it is. Very awesome.
Tell us about your cattle.
All right. Well, our cattle. Let me give you just a real quick history of how I got into the cattle that I have right now. I grew up on a farm, about 500 acres in Southwest Virginia, and we had a slaughterhouse, and we slaughtered for everybody, and we also sold cattle and slaughtered them for sale also. We also had a meat market in Weber City. My family did, and sold retail meat just like we're doing here. They did a lot of whole beef, half beefs, and quarters and stuff also. So I started out with a farm down in Fall Branch. As I got older, I bought a farm down there and just kept expanding. And I was raising a lot of cattle, different breeds, a lot of Angus, Hereford, Baldies, Charolais, Solars. And then I was at a sales barn one day, and I seen this big old animal in the cow pen from across the barn. And I thought, why in the world are they gonna put a bull in the cow pen? You know, so I take off over there just to see what it is. Well, it's a big old cow, the biggest cow I've ever seen in my life. And you know, I was about 35 years old at that time, been in and around meat and cattle all my life. Never saw a cow that big in my life, so I had to go find out what kind of breed it was. So I went and looked it up online, and just as soon as I seen it, I knew what it was. It was called Blonde d'Aquitaine. So I had to do some research to find out if somebody had some. So, excuse me. I found a farmer down in Alabama, and I called him up and I said, do you mind if I come down and check the cattle out? He said, yes sir, come on down. So I went down and I spent the day with him looking through his cattle and stuff. I bought a couple bulls off of him. Had to twist his arm to get a heifer off of him. He didn't want to get rid of any of his cows. But anyway, I bought a few off of him. As I was leaving, he said, here, let me give you something. So he went in the house, he come back, and he gave me a couple packs of hamburger and a couple steaks. And when I got home that night, I pulled the cast iron grill out, put a little oil in there. I put them steaks on there, and I put just a little salt and pepper. And I sit down and I eat them steaks, and I said, oh my God, that is the best steaks I've ever eaten in my life. I said, get these Black Angus off of my farm. So I sold every cattle I had on there, 300 some head of cattle, sold them off. And then I ran into a problem. I went looking for blondes and you couldn't find them. There's only about 50 registered farmers in the country. So I had to go all over the country looking for blondes to get a herd. I finally built my herd up. We run about 500 head of cattle on a normal basis. So I finally got that. It took me a few years to get that built up. So we're probably one of the largest blonde cattle farmers in the United States. There's several out in Texas, Oklahoma. It's got pretty good sized herds also. There's some up in the Northeast. Most farmers with the blondes usually have about 25 or 30 head. But anyway, we have some great farmers out there. If you're interested in the cattle, contact us. We'll be more than happy to send you some information about the breed itself. It's a super breed of cattle. They're easy calving. Their feed deal is awesome. When I was raising Black Angus steers for resale, I would have to put 8 pounds of feed in their trough to put 1 pound on their hoof. You can feed these cattle 4.8 pounds and put a pound on their end. And also you can only get 3.2 pounds per day growth out of the calf, Angus and other breeds, and I can get 5 pounds a day out of these blondes. So they're super cattle to grow. Their carcass weights are awesome, good return. And I'm going to take a quick break here because we're going to cut a steak here for somebody. All right, we got to cut a couple fillets here for a customer. A couple 10-ounce fillets. And as you see, that's a nice fillet already trimmed out. And we're going to, how big did they want them? 2 tens. So I'm going to cut them out like that right there. And let's see, I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. Do a little bit of family right there. See where we're at. Probably just a little bit over on that. Yeah, I thought that'd be a little over. That's got a little bit of fat here. It's got too. Now you won't get that kind of cut at the store. Put that back for the next cut. And these trimmings right here, that'll be going in our hamburger meat. So. We got a cooler here that will kind of keep bulk stuff in. We'll just we'll gather up our scraps and stuff like that, put in, make our hamburger and everything. So that's just one little cut there, but we'll be doing some more cuts here. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and cut a few New Yorks while we're cutting. And I'll grab a New York piece out. And the New York comes out of the hindquarter. And it's it's part of the same section that you would get your T-bones from. This lays in the top of your beef like that right there. And this is your backbone. And this is where you get your T-bones at. Your T-bone will be wrapped around that way. And we'll do that one day. We'll actually pull a whole T-bone out, cut it, break it down and cut it. There's one nice New York. We use these steels, and what they do when we're cutting during the day, our blade going down in this plastic top table, it kind of flattens the metal out. You can't see it, but microscopically it flattens it out. So we put this as a steel. We put that on there, and that just takes that little edge off of it. Well, that's a pretty piece of meat right there.
Well, I'll tell you, I think you need to wrap those two up for me.
All right, well, we'll hook you up, no doubt. We appreciate you coming by today, and we enjoy your show. And we look forward to doing a couple little episodes with you down the road.
I don't know about you all out there, but I'm getting hungry.
Now we do sharpen these knives up daily. I put them on a wet rock. Cut 2 nice big ones up for somebody. I put them on a wet rock every day, first thing in the morning when I get in here, when we get started. This looks easy, but years of experience, just knowing where to hit everything. See, there was a little bit of seam in that meat there, that fat, and I just get right down that seam. Sometimes you don't have it. Cut that little gristle off the backside. A lot of the stores don't cut that off. They sell it to you. I always cut mine off, clean it up nice, because if you don't, you'll get that one piece back there to be real chewy. You ruin the whole steak. All right. Now what we do here, a lot of this here we will put in our pet mix. If you ever try our pet mix out, the animals will love it. It's about 45-50% fat, but the fat gives a high protein level and really helps their coat, their fur, and their skin and stuff. So it's really good for them. The rest of this we'll grind in. Most of our beef is really lean, so it all blend in. Our hamburger usually runs about 90% lean. So that makes for a good finished beef. Just a little bit of fat in there just kind of helps give it just a little bit of juice. And it's right off the steaks. So that makes everything good. We, like I said, we save this and we'll grind this up in our dog food when we put our hearts and kidneys and our liver and stuff in it. Now back to the farm and the cattle. Cattle is a very unique breed of cattle. If you was to Google most expensive steak dinner, you will see, you will find a French chef. And that's where these cattle are from, is France. They come from an area called Appalachian, France. That's where they're called Blondie Appalachians. And they, if you Google that, you'll get this French chef, and he sells dinners for like $800 for a steak dinner. And he has his own herd of Blondie Appalachian cattle, and he does a freeze-dry process and age it. And that's really, but you know, if somebody's using it for $800 dish, it's got to be a good piece of meat, and it is awesome. So besides the calving ease, the great growth rates, less feed per pound to grow them, and most of my cattle eat grass. And we raise our cattle on grass in the fields. When we bring them in to finish them up in the last couple of months of their life, we give them dry hay, which is grass. We give them corn silage, which every bit of that is considered grass except for the corn kernels itself. And then we do grind some corn. But we raise all the feed. I have local farmers around me that raise all my feed for me. They raise most. I do some of my hay, but they raise most of my hay. They raise sometimes some wheat, oats for me, and then my corn. And they don't get much oats and wheat, but sometimes we'll have a little bit for them. But mostly just corn silage, and the hay. And it's all raised locally. It's all GMO free. And on our farm, where they're raised at, mostly grass, their water supply is mostly spring water. That springs are on our farm, so the water that comes from our farm. The cattle that are in the barns are fed by well water, and the wells are like 300 feet deep. So they have a great water supply, so it's nice and clean. People don't think about that. They say, well, what do they eat and stuff like that. You need to also think about the water supply, because a cow on average drinks 30 to 35 gallons of water a day. So if their water supply is an old nasty pond, or we're coming from city water, or from water where coming down a river or a creek or something, you don't know what's above and what's in that water supply. So like I said, our farm is isolated. All of our water originates on our farm. So that's a good source too. The cattle have a very unique genetic issue. They have sweat glands. There's only 3 breeds of cattle in the world that have sweat glands, and this is one of them. And with the sweat glands, it allows the cattle to sweat out a lot of their impurities, which I really think is part of their uniqueness that helps make the meat taste so fresh. And also, there's been some testing done on it. There's something else about the sweat glands. I don't quite understand why, but it causes the animal to produce more vitamins in the meat. So that's where we tell them it's a healthier, cleaner product, because it's cleaner and it also has more vitamins in it than your average meat does for beef. So just a few little unique issues about the beef.
Now, Butch, if someone wanted to have a special cut of meat done, is that something you can do for them?
Oh, anything. If it comes out of a beef or a hog, we can cut it. Now, we do most of our breakdowns on Thursdays, so if you got a certain specialty cut, you might want to call us by Thursday morning and say, hey, we'd like to get this, because by the time we're done on Thursday afternoon, most of our beef stuff's broke down and we may not be able to cut that particular cut for you. But we usually have a lot of the chunk stuff like the ribeyes and the New Yorks and stuff already broke down and ready to cut, and we can still cut that special. But you know, if you want like a supersized tomahawk steak, or you want a plate rib or something like that, be sure to let us know ahead and we can fix you right up.
That's great to know. Well, Butch, thank you so much for the tour today. I really appreciate it, and we'll looking forward to having you as a sponsor on the Kaiser Report, and hopefully you'll get some orders.
We're glad to be there, and just like I say, go to our website, lazyjbeef.com, check us out. If you do Facebook, follow us on Facebook, give us a thumbs up, and you'll see our weekly ads. Nice seeing everybody.
Take care now, and we'll be back to you again. We'll be visiting here when he has a side of beef hanging up, and we'll see how it's done from the beginning to the end. So once again, thank you for watching the Kaiser Report, and from Lazy J Farms, we're going to say bye-bye now. Thank you so much for your participation.